No, I do not expect them to cruise to a gold medal. Do I think they will win a gold medal? Yes, I do. But we haven't cruised to a gold medal well, we've won 3 consecutive gold medals, and we didn't cruise to any of them. In 2008, we ended up beating Spain in the championship game by 11 points. But it was a 4-point game with 2.5 minutes left. In 2012, we had to come back to beat Lithuania in the preliminary games. And then the 107-100 win in the championship game, again over Spain, is only the second closest game in Olympics finals history. And then we go to 2016, we had 2 3-point wins in that run. And again, a challenge in the semifinal, beating Spain 82-76. So can we do it? Yes, we can do it. Are we going to cruise in the typical fashion of 20-plus wins that we were used to from the Dream Team in '92 when we first started sending pros? No, that hasn't been in the cards for years, and it's certainly not in the cards for this particular Team USA.
I'm back in my garage because I'm using my yarn and I'm connecting them up. And I do think they're going to cruise the rest of the way. All those things that you're talking about, those struggles, I think they got that all out of the way in that loss with France. Embarrassment is sometimes the great equalizer. That's a wake-up call. They got punched in the mouth. They took the best punch that they're going to get in this Olympic run. You know why? Because they didn't approach it the way they're approaching it now. It's a wake-up call. This game that they got against Iran that they just won, they showed that, okay, now it's time to focus. Now we got to dial in. And the things that you and I talked about, Joy, in terms of what Coach Popovich needed to have them doing, I'll give Rick this much, and I'll give him a tad bit of credit. The players took this lighter than what they should have. They're not going to do that the rest of the way. Now, when I say cruise, I don't know that they're going to blow everybody out by 40. But I don't think that they will be in danger of losing a game the rest of the way, Joy.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't think they're going to cruise either, but I definitely think it's going to be a lot of competitive basketball moving forward. I don't want to take too much from beating Iran the way that they did. We were favored by 39.5 points, so it's not like this was, I mean, if they won by 20, it would have been a shock. So I think they did what they were supposed to do in this game. Moving forward, it is going to be more competitive. But I think this was a good palate cleanser for Team USA. What I did like about what I saw last night was, and Kevin Durant talked about this, that everyone was being a little unselfish in the first game. Everyone was kind of just deferring, and there wasn't a whole lot of NBA basketball stardom that we see in the NBA with these stars translating to Team USA. That's what makes these guys great. And they didn't have that. They were very aggressive. Everyone kind of got into their flow. Dame hit his shots. Everyone was going for it. And that's really what you want to see, because they don't have a lot of continuity. They don't have time together. They don't have a lot of the chemistry that these other teams have. While we do have more talent, that isn't an advantage, if you will, that these other countries have. So we're not going to generate that. That needs time. That needs space. So what do we have? A lot of talent. So let's just let them go be talented. And I think that's what you saw last night against, obviously, an inferior opponent. So you don't want to overreact to it. But they've spent a little time together now. Like Dame said, it's feeling like Team USA. They're eating together. They're spending time together in the hotel. They're talking about game plans. They're figuring out what it is that they need to do to win. And I do think that loss to France sparked a little something. Not that I don't think they don't care, because they wouldn't be in Tokyo, especially in a year like this with all the COVID protocols and everything that's being asked of them, if they didn't care. But I do think that the reaction of everyone expects you guys to win. We don't lose to France. We don't lose badly. We don't lose at all. This is the standard, and we better keep it for Team USA. I think that has brought this team together, and this was a good game for them to do that in, because it was not a really tough opponent.
Yeah, it's actually, LeVar, your approach that they're always supposed to cruise is what puts this in the wrong context. Because now I was just glad to see that they won by more than 39.5. If they hadn't beaten the spread, then people would have looked at it and said, oh, you know what, this team's still sloughing. Yeah. They're still not, they're not meeting expectations because they didn't win by 40 against Iran. So that's, I feel as if we need to put it in proper context what they're doing. And one of the reasons, Laura, that I do believe in this team is because of the chemistry that I see and the pride being shown. They did respond against Iran. They did play harder. They shot better. I don't know that Greg Popovich made them shoot better. I think they just shot better. So I'm not putting it on Pop. But I will give them this when it comes to the relationship between the players and Greg Popovich. I see a lot of great communication and chemistry there as well. When Damian Lillard comes off the floor and Pop stops him to talk, and Damian Lillard stops and puts his arm around Pop while they have that conversation, or when Pop is talking to the guys on the bench and all eyes are on him and they are clearly listening to what he wants, that shows me a respect for what Popovich is doing that I'm not necessarily getting from the media or social media. And that, to me, is a really good sign, because I've seen Team USAs that did not have that kind of chemistry between the coach and the players, or the players collectively. That's the other part. You got a lot of stars here coming together for the first time, all competing against each other most of the year. And what I've seen is a collective understanding and desire to live up to what the expectations are for Team USA, no matter how high they might be.
No, it's because they felt bad. They saw the quotes that Joy had about Popovich letting them down as a coach, so they figured they had to step it up. That's all it was.
The bulletin board material.
That was the bulletin board material. Yes.
Okay.
So here's one more point that I'll make. Right, that stiff dose of reality that they received when they played against France, that wake-up call was one of those things where you could be KD, who people believe to be the best basketball player on the planet right now. Anybody on this team, champion of the finals this year, whoever it may be, if you lose or you come up short in the Olympics, it's a stain that you cannot remove. You will not be able to remove that stain. So the reason why I believe they will cruise the rest of the way is that they are going to wage war on every single team they play from here on out, all the way up until they get away from that team. And it will not go all the way into the fourth quarter. In my humble estimation, I think there's that much pride on the line. I think that they feel that they have to win in emphatic fashion now, so that the memory of this team, this Olympic team, is not going to be scrambled up in the facts that they weren't that good. They might be the worst USA basketball team to ever represent the country in the Olympics. These guys don't want that. There's too much pride, as has been mentioned repeatedly, too much pride on this team for them to go out that way. And that's why I think they will play like super, super assertive basketball early on in games. And I just don't think that a focused group with that type of talent, there's not a team in the world, or maybe even like, you know, the whole Space Jam thing. I don't think there's a team in the galaxy that would be able to deal with these guys on a focused level. And that's why I think they're going to cruise.
LeVar, I hope you're right, but the Nigeria and Australia exhibition losses didn't prevent the France loss from happening.
Yeah, but I still think it was a casual approach, Rick. Like, those were exhibitions.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you can casually be like, that's an exhibition.
France wasn't. And
now it's real.
Wasn't.
Correct. Now it's real. Okay. Now it's real. It's like you went to your freshman year.
France isn't even the best team that they're going to see. Australia and Spain, they're likely to see one of those two still. And I believe that they should win. I'll give you that, especially